City hosting Manchester United. Both of these teams coming off their respective wins in FA Cup, but I feel like it's going to be City who are feeling the wind at their sails following that 6-2 thrashing of Luton Town.
There's a sailboat on the logo.
What a
shout.
Do you see what I did?
Wind in their sails. Very
Sometimes
nice.
I have moments. But
Very nice.
I mean, United.
oh, they have a devil.
Yeah, they also have. Yeah, it's a
Wind
port
against
city.
yourself.
Yeah.
But they have the devil underneath them.
Yeah.
No, Erling Haaland scored 5 goals in this game. Kevin De Bruyne had 4 assists in this game. And Manchester United, I know that they're coming off the win in FA Cup, but it's just we talk so much about them on the show and how it's been such an inconsistent season for them. When you look at what City are doing, where they are, Nico, at this point, how big is the gulf between these two sides?
I mean, it's been pretty significant now. It's obviously not just a this season thing. And Manchester City, although it hasn't been superlative, I think Manchester City in the last 3 seasons has had a pretty extraordinary quality to their seasons, and they know when to turn on. They know when to kind of just take it easy. Meanwhile, Manchester United, despite their recent positive form, again, it's not all that convincing. And yesterday on Scoreline, Jeff Shreves, who we're going to have on soon, I think what he said, and I love what he said, that even Erik ten Hag is not convinced himself. So I think that's what we get a little bit about all these post-match statements that are really incoherent to what we're watching on the field. And it becomes, right now about United in the last 2 weeks, it's become so much about TikToks and Erik ten Hag statements and not the football. And there's a specific way to kind of just, all of this nonsense, brush it aside and focus on winning, which I'm not saying that United isn't focused on winning, but they're just, for themselves, create so much noise around the club that's just superfluous to the forward trajectory that you want. And it feels like right when they were getting a good form, it's like, oh, you stall out again.
I think the reason we're talking about all these ancillary things like TikToks or players' tribunal arguments or conversations and article posts and all these things is because they're not winning. Recently, they went on a great stretch. That stretch, to me, came from Rasmus Højlund being in form. Finally getting to the place where he was the player that they brought in. He was in form. He was looking good. He was making the team tick. In order to play the system that Erik ten Hag wants them to play, you have to have a very effective 9 that puts fear in the eyes of the defenders, makes you have to collapse a little bit and keep a closer eye on him, stay a little bit closer to him. Without him there, I don't know, unless Marcus Rashford all of a sudden has a reverse and a complete 180 and plays the way he did last season, it's just not going to work for them. And what a terrible timing, for this match to happen, just when they're recently, they got injuries, they're starting a little bit of a slide after a nice run in form, and then they walk into just an absolute juggernaut of Manchester City. This has all the makings of a really rough day for Manchester United fans.
I think to say they have injuries at this point is an understatement. Ten Hag's already gone on record saying there aren't going to be any changes from that Nottingham Forest match, which was not their best work, to say the least. But they are literally out. No Højlund, no Martial, no Aaron Wan-Bissaka, no Luke Shaw, no Malacia, no Harry Maguire, no Lisandro Martinez, no Mason Mount, and then doubtful, but Ten Hag says it's a go right now with Varane and also Bruno Fernandes. So looking at their performance against Nottingham Forest, where Casemiro just managed to get that 89th minute header in, not great, right? And they were unable to sort of use and abuse the gaps in the midfield that Nottingham had. And it's like, if you're not attacking even a Nottingham Forest, like their chances against City, I would say, are pretty big.
So what would have to go right for United to even consider getting a result?
Is dark magic a possibility?
Haaland puts on a United shirt. There's not much. I mean, look, I wouldn't be shocked if this was somehow a draw, like a gritty game where it was hard fought and maybe they find a way to stifle Kevin De Bruyne, but I just don't see that happening. I don't see that they have enough pieces. And if they collapse enough in the midfield and defensively, they're just not going to have anything going forward.
They need to be very organized through 90 minutes and not let up, especially depending who's playing left back. When
Amrabat again, probably.
City is, and
not a left
imagine
back.
that. And
Right,
City,
I mean,
and he's got Foden
but-
on his side, and then City creates constant overloads with the way either a center back can pinch in, or you can have a center back who's playing wing backs, because now it's Guardiola in the last year has used center backs
Yeah,
as
when
as
John
their-
Stones
as
is
their
having a
outside backs.
conversation with their
When
center back
they're-
because he's so
when
far forward.
They push up. It's going to be you have to have patience, but within that patience, you need to be organized. You need to be perfect, essentially.
Yeah. I don't
And
think it
then
takes.
killer on the couple chances you get.
Yeah,
Would
I
you
don't
be
think it
shocked if
takes
they came
any
in
of
playing
the
for the
pressure.
draw? 0-0? I wouldn't be shocked if they came in trying to
I
play for
think
the
that would
draw.
be a hoop dream at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think it takes any pressure off of Ten Hag's shoulders, but doing what he's doing with what he has, which isn't much, I mean, who is going to do better with that situation?
I don't know if they're going to be playing for the draw, and I think this same conversation most managers, not only in the Premier League, in the world, have when they play against Manchester City. They're going to have the ball against you. How do you see out a game in which your rival's going to hold more possession, is going to have more options going forward? You have to carry the game step by step. Manchester United is not going to play for the draw. Manchester United in this derby is going to play to win. The manner in which you win might seem like, all right, are they going to be happy with the draw? I think they would be pretty happy with the draw, just considering Manchester City, how voracious they are.
I think that the draw, right.
Right. Nonetheless, you don't play to draw.
Nobody
play it
does.
out.
You want to win.
Yeah, at intervals, you see the game out, and
Nico,
your
at what point
opportunities
do you
are
have to be
presented.
realistic? Honestly. Now, you play a Nottingham Forest side where you dominate in possession and still can't convert anything against them, despite all of their sort of flimsy midfield, their poor defending. Maddie Turner had a couple of nice saves, granted, but you can't manage to penetrate that, even with all the errors made, to convert more than a single goal in almost 90 minutes. And now they're facing a City side that's
The
full
dynamic
steam
is
ahead.
completely different. It
Right.
will be completely different.
They're gonna have to attack on those dead
Do we know what
balls.
the betting odds are for this match? Like what the
I think
odds
Alexis
for
had looked
United
it up.
to win?
I think I did bet on this, but probably by mistake, and I'm terrible at betting, so I would suggest no one do what I
Well,
did.
we are going to have our footy wager segment at the end of the show, but I'm just curious because I think we are all in agreement that it is a tall task for Manchester United.
It is plus 900.
Plus 900 for United to get a result.
Should I place my
at the
first ever
Etihad.
bet and just waste money?
Did Charlie bet on them?
Okay, so we're all predicting that City are going to win this one, but is this going to be, like a 6-2 situation like we saw against Luton? Like how close are we going to?
Here's the good news:
is
the
this gonna
teams
be?
that have caused frustration for City this season have been teams that are disciplined, stay compact, and try to hit you on the counter.
Okay.
If they can do that, which is the way they want to play, if they can absolutely do that, and Marcus Rashford finds his form, there's a chance that it's not going to be a drubbing.
Okay.
Counter-attacking football, that's what Eric Ten
okay.
Hag has wanted to perfect.
Prediction.
Well, I mean, my bet is City win or draw. So
Okay. Score.
I'll say 3-2.
Okay.
3-0. City.
3-1.
I'm saying 2-1 City.